Very good evening and welcome all of you to this next action plan session. Planning today is a relaxed tomorrow, so let us plan today for tomorrow's trading. But before we start doing that, I'm sure today in this session there are many of you who have joined very new as a dynamic member here. You must have subscribed for Dynamic Live or Dynamic System. There are many that who have requested that they have doubts regarding updating the data every day. So what we will do here is today we will start the session by updating the data of Dynamic Live and Dynamic System so that you can make notes of it and you can understand the process, how to do it. Now for you to update the data every day, now which is very important for you to update it, only if you update the data every day after 6:30 in the evening, then that is when you will start getting the new signal information and values. So anyways, for you to update the data, you have to go through our official website, which is dynamiclive.in. Now in this, you have to click on this downloads here in the menu. Now once you click on downloads, it will take you to this page. Scroll it down. Now you can see there is the first link here, NSE Dynamic Live. Now all of you who have Dynamic Live with you, if you want to update its data, this is the way. This is the link which you have to click. So let me click on it. Now once I do that, towards the right side you can see it is written as download all. So let me click on download all. Now it is asking me where to save this file that I'm downloading. So normally my habit is to save it on desktop, so it is not confusing to find it. So I will save it on desktop. Now once it gets downloaded, you can see here at this point at the bottom in the browser, wherein I can click here to find it in the folder. Show in folder, click on it. So this is where it has been downloaded. So there's the file NSE cache 6.1. Right click on this, cut. Use the option cut. And after you are done with this, close it. Now once you have closed it, now all that you have to do here is on the desktop you will find the Dynamic Live icon. Just right click on that icon and click on the first option, that is open file location. Now just give me a second. I think you people are not able to see the screen. All right, now anyways, I'm not able to share my desktop screen. So anyways, on desktop, your dynamic live icon will be there, the golden dove symbol. Now on that, all right, now this is the one. What you can do here is you can right click on this, click on the first option, open file location. In this, there is a folder, NSE cache folder, double click on it. And here you can paste it. Right click, paste. It will ask you for replace, so replace it. Once it is done, so right click on the folder it has which you have pasted right now, and the first option, that is extract here, give S to all. Your job is over. The data is updated for dynamic live. Right? So similarly, what we will do here is we will go update NSE cache dynamic system data. Now, all of you who want to update NSE cache dynamic system data, there's a table that you have to come to, NSE cache 6.1. So click on it. Download it. Download it on desktop so that it is easy for you to find it. So once it is downloaded, now there's a file NSE cache 6.1. Right click, cut, and then go to dynamic system icon. Right click, select this open file location, NSE cache, and here you can paste it. Replace the file. So once it is pasted, you can also see the date here, 26/8/2020, and the time at which I have updated it. Now extract here and click on S to all. Now once you have done this, now the data of NSE cache dynamic system is also updated. Now you can go ahead and open this dynamic live as well as dynamic system. So there's dynamic system. Now what I'll do here is, all right, let us go through dynamic live first. Now once this data is updated, now are you able to hear my voice, all of you? Mr. Patangi says that he is not able to hear my voice. How about all others? Yes or no, please reply. All right. So this is dynamic live. So once we have opened dynamic live, let us go through this Dowmantic method and see what has happened today and what is the plan for tomorrow's trading. So anyways, in Dowmantic method, as you know, for Bank Nifty, it has been telling us to hold call option. We have been holding on to the call option even today, right on top, as there is a dynamic system caution. We would have definitely secured our profits by shifting over. Now, after shifting over, we are currently waiting. Now, first of all, while shifting over, now I would have shifted over directly to the next contract today itself. Because remember, in the training, I have told you that on the expiry date or one day before the expiry date, if you get an opportunity wherein you must shift over your trade, then shift over directly to the next contract. Okay, so there's one important point. So anyways, we have already shifted over the call option to the next contract. We will wait now. We will wait until it very clearly tells us to exit the call option. But if the price continues to move up further, and any dynamic caution or a DMBOTS on top, any symbol for that matter, again you can shift over. But if the price comes down, and if intraday 3 speed gives a sell, that is when action information tells you to buy a put option, then you know that intraday 3 long signal is still green, intra-week long signal is also green. They both are in buy. Even as per dynamic system level 2 trading method, we are still supposed to be holding long position. So if it tells you to buy a put option, now that trade will be against the trend. So since it is against the trend, you must check the Tenkai signal to decide whether to do the trade or not to do the trade. So when that is a point for you to check the Tenkai signal, go see in Nifty, is there any zigzag caution or a long signal edge point? If it is there, avoid the trade. If none of them are there, then go ahead and do the trade. So this is all that you will do for Bank Nifty. And now let us check what's happening in Nifty. Now even in Nifty, you can see here that it has been telling us to hold the call option. And it had told us to buy a call option somewhere at this point in time, and from there we are still long. But then in call option we have already secured profit once here, and again the second time here. Once again today also there was an opportunity wherein you could have secured your profits, and while doing that you could have shifted over your position directly to the next contract. Okay, so this is what has happened in Nifty. If it continues to move up, if there is an opportunity, secure your profits again. But if it comes down and if it tells you to buy a put option here, then you know that once again, like Bank Nifty, intraday 3 long, intra-week long, they both are still in buy. Even as per dynamic system, we are holding long. So you must check the Tenkai signal to decide whether to do this trade or not to do this trade. Clear all of you? So this is about Nifty and Bank Nifty as per the Dowmantic method level 2. Now let us go check what's happening in dynamic system. Now for us to check the dynamic system, first let me open the chart as well as the detailed report. So this is the chart of Nifty, daily chart. Let me add all the three major studies. Let us zoom in. And now let us also open the detailed report of Nifty. Now, as you know, for this detailed report to open, now it will take almost close to a minute. In the meantime, let us go open the chart and detailed report of Bank Nifty as well. So this is how I'm opening the chart of Bank Nifty. Add the main studies inside dynamic system. Now let us zoom in to enlarge the chart. And let's also open the detailed report of Bank Nifty. So until Bank Nifty detailed report opens, now by then I think Nifty would have already opened, or it is about to open. Now once it now first of all, as the detailed report opens, now let us see the chart. Now as you can see here that we are holding on to long position in Bank Nifty, in Nifty, as you all know. And as we hold on, the price has been moving up even today. And as it moves up, there is no trend edge point on top. So since there is no trend edge point on top, we have to wait for range 4 or speed signal, whichever is lowest. Reduce 0.5% from there. So speed signal range 4 is 11,426 and speed signal is 11,381. So speed signal is the lowest. So 11,381, when you calculate 0.5%, it comes out to be 57 points. So when you reduce 57 points, it is 11,324. So if the price of Nifty trades below 11,324, that is when you can exit long and get into a short trade. If you all remember, when the initial trade started in Nifty long back, when the long position was initiated, the exit point was somewhere at around 11,140 or 160 ranges. And there were some who asked that the risk is big, but then as the price continued to move up today, our exit point has moved up to 11,324, wherein the risk has completely got reduced, and we are absolutely in safe zone. And if the price manages to move up even further, then our exit point will move beyond our entry point, so that some part of the profit will at least get secured. So that is the benefit of trading using dynamic system level 2 trading method. So this is the plan for Nifty. 11,324 is the important level. If the price trades below that, that is when we will exit long and get into a short trade. Similarly, let's go check what's happening in Bank Nifty. Now, even in Bank Nifty, you all know that we are holding on to the long position. There is no exit as of now, and there is no trend edge point also on top. So we have to use range 4 or speed signal, whichever is lowest. Range 4 is 22,943 and speed signal is 22,463. So speed signal is the lowest. So let us calculate 0.5%. It is almost 112, round it up to 113 points. 22,463 minus 113, it is 22,350. So if the price of Bank Nifty trades below 22,350, that is when we will exit long and get into a short trade. But until then, we can hold on to the long position. So this is about Nifty and Bank Nifty as per the dynamic system level 2 trading method. Now let us come back to dynamic live to check Nifty and Bank Nifty as per the dynamic superpower trading method. Now you all know that in Nifty, as we discussed yesterday, we were continuing to hold the long position, but then as this intraday 3 speed signal gave us a sell with a edge point here, we didn't we exited short and got into a long trade. But as we got into a long trade, right on top there is a zigzag, or even we saw the intraday one long signal edge point where we would have exited long and got into short once again. So after taking a short position, the price remained flat, but then as the price started increasing, once this intraday 3 speed signal gave a buy, or even after this intra-week zigzag breakout happened, we would have definitely exited short and got into a long. Currently, we are holding on to a long position in Nifty here as per dynamic superpower trading method. Let me come back to view 3 or even the Dowmantic view. So now you know that there is a weekly caution on top and we are holding on to a long position. Any opportunity to shift over, please secure your profit, don't forget. And since tomorrow is the expiry, you can shift over your position directly to the next contract. These are some important points that you have to keep in mind while trading. But anyways, as we are holding long, there is a weekly caution with C8's strength. C13 straddle is also there. But then tomorrow morning, we have to see whether the C13 straddle is broken out or not. And NMC C3 is there. There is pressure on top, but still, if the price manages to come down, we will wait for the better confirmation to exit long and get into a short trade. Okay, so there's one thing. Once you get into a short trade, remember, since Nifty is in a long-term up direction, as the price comes down, any edge point in intraday 3 or in intra-week, then or even the zigzag cautions, we can exit short and get back into a long trade, and we will keep doing this until this intra-week long signal doesn't give us a sell. Now, once intra-week long signal gives us a sell, there will be more weakness to come by. So this is the plan for Nifty as per the dynamic superpower trading method. Now, let me remind all the viewers here today, we are discussing about 3 different methods here. That is Dowmantic method, which we discussed first. And then we discussed dynamic system level 2 trading method. And now we are discussing the most advanced dynamic superpower trading method. Now, these are 3 methods. Now, there are many people who are following a Dowmantic method. There are many who are following dynamic superpower trading method. So, we are preparing our next action plan according to each of these methods. So, whoever is trading as per dynamic superpower trading method, now these are the points I hope you have made a note of. So, this is about Nifty. So, let us come back to Bank Nifty. Now, the other point here is, now, as I've been telling you during these next action planner session and the previous sessions also, that whatever plan that we are discussing, if you people can make a note of it, that itself completes more than 70 to 80% of your job, because all that you have to do is whatever we have planned today, tomorrow you just have to execute it as it is. If you can do this much, then that is more than enough. So anyways, this is Bank Nifty that we are looking at. Even in Bank Nifty, you know that we yesterday. Now once this intraday one long signal edge point happened, let me show you this. Now once this intraday one long signal edge point happened, there's a point I told you that I had exited my long position. I got into a short trade, but after getting into a short trade, I told you what is the risk involved. Once intraday one long signal gave us a buy in the morning, what I did was I exited the short trade. Now if you look at the short trade, now I had got into a if I'm not wrong, 23,300 strike price put option, which was at around 160 rupees or 62 rupees, wherein the entry was made. And then by the time today, intraday one long signal gave me a buy. So by the time I exit the put option, I happen to exit somewhere at around 128 rupees. So it is hardly a 32 points minus there. But after that, what happened? Now we got into a long trade. I bought a call option. Now this call option ended up giving me some huge returns, more than 250 points benefit that has been achieved in options trading. And that is, if I'm not wrong, it is the 23,000 strike price that I'm talking about. Okay. So anyways, currently we are holding on to the long position here in Bank Nifty. Now you also know that if you have looked at dynamic system, there was a weekly trend edge point at around 23,230. Even in the monthly, we saw that there is a mid signal strength level which was at 23,200 and 200 ranges somewhere, and the price has comfortably managed to trade beyond that. But anyways, you have to remember the weekly trend edge point, whether it has broken or not, it will be confirmed only on Friday's closing. So until then, it is still not confirmed. Now, if the price manages to come down from here, and let us say we will wait for the better confirmation, of course, intraday one long or intraday three speed signal to give us a sell. Let's say that one of these two has given us a sell, and after it gives us a sell, as the price comes down, if there is any zigzag caution at the bottom, either in intraday 3 or in intra week, and at that point, if the price is still trading above 23,230 or 250 ranges, then I will definitely exit short and get back into a long trade, because it is very clearly trading above the weekly trend value that we had seen in dynamic system. But if it manages to come below that, let us say below 23,200, and then if intraday one long or intraday three speed signal gives me a sell, then I will definitely get into a short trade. But after getting into a short trade, as the price comes down and reaches any intraday three long or intra week long signal edge point, I will shift over the put option and I will hold the put option. If you remember, as we discussed yesterday, the pressure will be high from the top. So we will hold the put option. If it goes up, wait for intraday three speed signal to give you a buy without any caution. Or if it keeps coming down, then the preference will be to hold the short position, isn't it? And wait for the better confirmation. So this is the plan for Bank Nifty. But if it doesn't come down and if it keeps on moving up, well, then you just have to sit quiet and relax. And don't forget to shift over as and when you find an opportunity to do that. So this is about Nifty and Bank Nifty as per the dynamic superpower trading method. Now all the three important methods have been discussed. Now if anyone has any questions or doubts till this particular point, you can ask me, you can text your questions on the chat. Now after, if you don't have doubts, then please do text me saying that there are no doubts. So that we can move on to the next part, wherein we can take your favorite stocks and see what is happening in that. But then whenever you are requesting to check any of your favorite stock, then please remember that you have to mention which is the method that you are planning to follow. Based on that, I can suggest you, if anyone wants to do investment based trading in equity segment for any of the stock, then mention that you want to do investment either short term or long term. Accordingly, I can suggest you. Mr. Chetan Patel says 23,500 call by 27 September, rate 611. Please exit dynamic system level. Chetanji, I have not understood your question. Are you telling me to exit or are you asking me whether to exit the trade? Well, I don't have 23,500 call option. Well, as I understand, if you already have a call option in place, then first of all, if it is a September contract, then there is no problem. But if you are in an August contract which expires tomorrow, then what you can do is, as you see that there is a dynamic caution on top tomorrow morning, if it still remains there, then shift over your position immediately to the next contract. Okay, but if you have taken this position in September contract, then there is no problem, you can hold on to it. But as the price keeps increasing, and if there is any new dynamic caution or any new DMBOTS levels, that is when you can again shift over. But if you want to exit it, then wait for the price to come down. Let intraday 1 long or intraday 3 speed signal, any one of these to give you a sell. Whoever gives you sell first, based on that you can exit the trade. Clear now? All right, now Mr. Sampath Kumar wants to check Maruti Tata Steel as per Daumantic method. So let us check that. So this is Maruti. You can see here the action says stay tuned for the next trade. So there is no trade as of now. And it is because there is a series of zigzag cautions in intraday 3 and there is an intra-week long signal edge point. Now all those people who have joined new, as I told you in the training, whenever you come across any green colored symbol here or a red colored symbol on top, you can immediately come and read what is written and the reason. You can see it is very clearly written as ID3 zigzag buy signal. The reason it says it is buy signal is because zigzag caution is at bottom and the price is expected to move upward. So that is the reason. So by this you will know that the symbol is a zigzag caution. So this is Maruti, and which was the other stock you have asked for? It is Tata Steel. So let us check the Tata Steel. Well, this is Tata Steel. Even in Tata Steel, there is no trade as of now. Stay tuned for the next trade. There is no preparation as well. But if the price manages to go down, only when intra week zigzag breakdown happens, it will tell you to buy a put option. But until then, wait. And if it goes up and if it tells you to buy a call option, you know that intra week long signal is still in sell. So you must check the Tenkai signal to decide whether to do the trade or not to do the trade. And Mr. Venugopal wants to check Tata Motors. Well, this Tata Motors, we did see this Tata Motors yesterday also in the session for investment purpose anyways. And it was trading somewhere at around 127 ranges, if I'm not wrong, as of yesterday's closing. But today it has shot up to 137.90. It is in a long-term buying mode. Now that is for investment. So if you are looking at Daumantic method, now the action information is telling us to hold call option. So hold on to your position. But right on top, there was a DMBOTS, which means you must have secured your profits today already. And by shifting over, now once you have secured, now wait until it tells you to exit the call option. But if it comes down and if it tells you to buy a put option, remember intraday 3 long and intra-week long are still in buy. So you must check the Tenkai signal to decide whether to do the trade or not to do the trade. Now, in the meantime, Rohan has a question here. Dynamic system level 2, just to confirm the rule. No re-entries if a particular script is in between. Yes, if any stock is in between trend in the daily chart, then we will not do any re-entry. Okay, so we will wait for it to close outside the trend, either on the higher side or on the lower side. That is when we can go ahead and get into the trade. Now, Mr. Chetan Patel has asked for Bandhan Bank. Well, this is Bandhan Bank. You can see here that the action information is telling you to hold call option. We've already bought call option somewhere at this point in time once intraday 3-speed signal gave us a buy. And after buying, now you can see just before the market close, there is a zigzag preparation on top, and the preparation is also telling you to exit, get ready to exit call option. Even if you have exited the call option today, just few minutes before opening, there is absolutely no problem. But if you have not done that, watch it in the first 5 minutes when the market opens tomorrow. It will tell you to exit call option. So that is when you can exit the trade. There's Bandhan Bank, and Mr. Nishant wants to check Reliance Industries as per Dynamic Superpower Trading in Dynamic Live. All right, let's check what's happening in Reliance. Well, it has shot up. It was known that it is going to shoot up. So anyways, we knew that the Reliance was in a very clear uptrend as far as the long-term direction of the price is concerned. And in uptrend, you are getting a weekly caution at the bottom. Now, what better do you want? What better do you want, isn't it? Now, as soon as you saw the weekly caution, any better confirmation, intraday one long or intraday 3-speed signal, whichever gave you a buy, you could have definitely got into a call option. And I'm sure if you have got into a call option by now at today's closing, you would have at least seen a profit more than 200% returns at least in this one single trade. And it is very well known this trade will give you huge returns because it is already in a long-term up direction, and in up direction you're getting a weekly caution at the bottom. There is no better opportunity than this, isn't it? So as of now, we are currently holding on to the long position. But remember, as the price keeps increasing, if there is any DMBOTS or any dynamic caution, then do shift over to secure your trades. But any straddle, any caution on top, you have to wait for better confirmation. Let intraday one long or intraday 3-speed signal give you a sell. That's when you can exit long and get into short. But even if you get into short, any zigzag at bottom, or even if it comes down till any long signal edge point, then exit short and get back to long trade. So this is the plan for Reliance as per dynamic superpower trading method. Now, Mr. Umesh, your software is installed today, but after closing, I'm unable to open. Maybe, Mr. Umesh, your internet, you must have switched off your internet. When your internet is off and if you try to open Dynamic Live, it will not open. The internet must be on. Please try to connect to the internet first. But if you're still facing any issues here, then immediately you can write a mail to this mail ID. rcdynamicsystem@gmail.com. Now, yesterday I remember I had given this mail ID for some other member, or even if it is you, but then the mail so they had sent the mail to the enquiry@dynamiclive.in. So don't write any technical issues related mail to enquiry email ID. You have to write it to rcdynamicsystem@gmail.com. And when you're writing a mail, along with that, give your team your ID, keep your system and team viewer open so that they can take the remote access and get it resolved immediately. Okay, so this is the thing. And Mr. Vinod Kumar has asked for Axis Bank and Adani ports. Now I remember, Mr. Vinod Kumar, you had asked for the same just sometime back at 5 p.m. session. But anyways, it's my duty to show you this. Now this is Axis Bank. As you know that in Axis Bank, it is telling us to hold the call option. So we are holding on to it. But remember, it is this point where once this intraday 3 zigzag breakout happened, that's when it told us to buy a call option. And right on top, there is a dynamic caution. So we have already secured our profit. Now wait until it tells you to exit the call option. And at this point, when you are shifting over, you would have shifted over your position to the next contract because tomorrow is the expiry date. And if it comes down and if it tells you to buy a put option, then remember intraday 3 long and intra-week long are still in buy. So you must check the Tenkai signal to decide whether to do this trade or not to do this trade. And then you had asked for Adani Ports. So this is Adani Ports. You can see here the action is telling us stay tuned for the next trade. So there is no trade as of now, but the preparation is telling us get ready to buy a call option. So if the price manages to go beyond this intra-week long signal, only then it will ask you to buy a call option. But until then, there is no opportunity as of now. You have to wait. Mr. Abhishek Jain wants me to check Dabur India. So let us check what's happening in Dabur India. Well, in Dabur India, you can see that the action is telling us, stay tuned for the next trade. So there is no trade as of now. But then you can see here, the other intelligence is also telling us buy signal, wait and buy. So it is asking you to wait. And if you were trading as per dynamic superpower trading method, then I would have told you if it comes closer to this long signal edge point, then you can definitely get into a long trade. So that will be the least risk point for you to get into a long trade, and the returns can be huge from there. And one Mr. All right, Mr. Chetan Patel again has some more stocks, HCL Tech and GAIL. Well, this is HCL Tech. Even in HCL Tech, there is no trade as of now. It is asking us to wait because there are a series of zigzag in intra-week as well as in intra-day 3 here. But you can see here in this action, it is telling us to wait, buy signal, wait and buy. But anyways, if you're trading as per Daumantic method, you will wait. If the price manages to go up and if there is a zigzag breakout, that is when it will tell you to buy a call option. But if it comes down and if it tells you to buy a put option, you know that intraday 3 long and intra-week long are still in buy. So you must check the Tenkai signal. So for HCL Tech, you can use the CNX IT as your Tenkai signal to decide whether to do this trade or not to do this trade. And GAIL, so in GAIL, you can see that the action is telling us to hold put option. But then as you hold this put option, now first of all, it had told us to buy a put option at this point in time. And as you hold a put option, if the price manages to come down slightly, if it comes closer to this previous dynamic system caution, then I would suggest you to secure your profits by shifting over. But if it goes beyond this, then it will be a good move downward. But anyways, hold it until it very clearly tells you to exit the put option. Mr. Purnachandra has a question, sir. And Dr. Reddy, ID3 is in sell, and in intra-week there is a weekly caution. Is it okay to enter the trade or avoid the trade as per Daumantic method? All right, Dr. Reddy, let us check this. Well, you can see here it is telling us to hold put option as of now, but you also know that after you got into a put option, right at the bottom, you have already secured your profit once. So your risk on this trade is very less, or it is absolutely zero risk. It depends on the way you have shifted over. But if you are holding the put option, I would suggest you to hold it because there is a long signal edge point in intraday 3. So there are chances the price can come down once again and then try to move up. But until then, you can hold on. But wait until it very clearly tells you to exit the call option, exit the put option. I'm sorry. Mr. Divyanshu wants to check F retail. Once again, he's back with F retail. Anyways, the stock is not there in futures and options for all others who are watching. It can be traded only in the equity segment. In equity segment, if you're trading as of now, it is in a very clear buy. You can hold on to this buy. And there has been a sharp movement both up and down in the last couple of days, but still it is on the buying mode. So you can hold on to this buy position. And then IndusInd Bank is what you have asked for. Well, this is IndusInd Bank. You can see here the action is telling us hold call option. So it is this point where it had told us to buy a call option when the price was at around, it was on 26th August 9:30. That is today morning. Price was at 546.55. From there, it has shot up to 567.65. And right at the top, there is a DMBOTS wherein you could have secured your profits already. And it is an amazing profit in this particular trade. And we are still holding on to the call option. Wait until it tells you to exit the trade. And Mr. Rahul wants to check Apollo Hospital. Well, this is Apollo Hospital. You can see as of now, it says stay tuned for the next trade. So there is no trade as of now. We are waiting for the next trading opportunity. If the price manages to go up, and if an intraday 3-speed signal gives a buy, and if it tells you to buy a call option, then you can get into a long trade, but you may also get an exit very soon. But instead, if it goes down, and if intraday 3 zigzag breakdown happens, that's when it will tell you to buy a put option. So this is what is happening in Apollo Hospital. Mr. Abhishek Jain, Dabur futures you are holding long. We checked the Dabur, isn't it? Did we miss Dabur? Well, if you are holding long in Dabur, Mr. Abhishek Jain, well, I cannot suggest you exactly, because all that I know to do is to follow what dynamic live or dynamic system says. So as per this, I wouldn't, I would have been waiting here. But anyways, if you have taken a long position, there is not much of trouble there, because there is a weekly caution at the bottom which has some good strength. So there are chances the price will definitely move up, but before it moves up, there are chances it can do a lot of up and down movements, and then it can move up. So you have to hold on to your position, wait until this intra-week long signal gives a sell. Or the other best thing that you can do is tomorrow, if you get a place where you are in a small profit, you can exit the trade and wait for the price to move up. And as it moves up, the action information here, it will change. The information will change from buy signal wait and buy, it will change to buy long act now. So when it says buy long act now, that is when you can jump in and buy it back once again. Okay, so this is the plan for Dabur here. Now, Mr. Hamid Khan has asked for Bank Nifty. So let us come back to Bank Nifty once again. So there's Bank Nifty, Mr. Hamid, and you can see here we are currently holding on to the long position. There have been a couple of opportunities, or more than 2 opportunities, where we have already secured our profits. Even today, there was a place wherein we could have secured our profits. But today, as we were shifting over, we would have shifted over our position in call options directly to the next contract. So because tomorrow is the expiry date. Now, after shifting over, now we will wait until the action information tells us to exit the call option. And later, if the price comes down and if it tells us to buy a put option, since intraday 3 long and intra-week long, they both are still in buy, we will check the Tenkai signal to decide whether to do this trade or not to do this trade. Okay, so this is the plan for Bank Nifty. All right, I hope all your doubts are clarified. If there are any other doubts, you can ask me now. But if there are no doubts, then please do text me saying that there are no doubts. And those of you who are very new to this dynamic family, and if you are thinking about how to go about getting into this dynamic live, or how to become a dynamic member, then I would suggest you to come and join this session at 9 p.m. In another 15 minutes, the session will start. In that session, now first of all, that session will be an introductory session wherein you will come to know what is dynamic live, what is the benefit of this Dowmantic method, and how futures and options trading has been made very easy today. And then if you want to subscribe to become a dynamic member, now what are the different plans that you can avail, and all the payment links, all these details will be conveyed in the session. So you can, you are most welcome to come and join the session there. In the meantime, looks like all others in the session now, it seems that there are no more doubts. So gentlemen, thank you all for joining today's session. Wish you all a happy trading. Wish you all great success tomorrow in your trading. See you once again in the next session. Until then, good night to all of you, and thank you once again for joining this session.